With dazzled eyes, whilst wondering I remained, forth of the beamy flame which dazzled me, issued a breath, that in attention mute detained me, and these words it spake: "'T were well, that, long as till thy vision, on my form erspent, regain its virtue, with discourse thou compensate the brief delay. Say then, beginning, to what point thy soul aspires. And meanwhile rest assured, that sight in thee is but o'erpowered as space, not wholly quenched, since thy fair guide and lovely, in her look hath potency, the like to that which dwelt in Ananias' hand. I answering thus, be to mine eyes the remedy or late or early, at her pleasure, for they were the gates, at which she entered, and did light her never-dying fire. My wishes here are centered, in this palace is the wheel, that Alpha and Omega, is to all the lessons love can read me. Yet again the voice which had dispersed my fear, when dazzled with that excess, to converse you urged, and spake, behooves thee sift more narrowly thy terms, and say, who levelled at this scope thy bow? Philosophy, said I, hath arguments, and this place hath authority enough to imprint in me such love, for, of constraint, good, inasmuch as we perceive the good, kindles our love, and in degree the more, as it comprises more of goodness in t. The essence then, where such advantage is, that each good, found without it, is naught else but of his light the beam, must needs attract the soul of each one, loving, who the truth discerns, on which this proof is built. Such truth learn I from him, who shows me the first love of all intelligential substances eternal, from his voice I learn, whose word is truth, that of himself to Moses saith, I will make all my good before thee pass. Lastly from thee I learn, who chief proclaimst, e'en at the outset of thy heralding, in mortal ears the mystery of heaven. Through human wisdom, and authority therewith agreeing, heard I answered, keep the choicest of thy love for God. But say, if thou yet other chords within thee feelst that draw thee towards him, so that thou report how many are the fangs, with which this love is grappled to thy soul. I did not miss, to what intent the eagle of our Lord had pointed his demand, ye noted well avowal, which he led to, and resumed, all grappling bonds, that knit the heart to God, confederate to make fast our clarity. The being of the world, and mine own being, the death which he endured that I should live, and that, which all the faithful hope, as I do, to the forementioned lively knowledge joined, have from the sea of ill love saved my bark, and on the coasts occurred it of the right. As for the leaves, that in the garden bloom, my love for them is great, as is the good dealt by eternal hand, that tends them all. I ended, and therewith a song most sweet rang through the spheres, and holy, 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 accordant with the rest my lady sang. And as a sleep is broken and dispersed through sharp encounter of the nimble light, with the eye's spirit running forth to meet the ray, from membrane onto the membrane urged, and the upstart led white loads that he sees, so, at his sudden waking, he misdeems of all around him, till assurance waits on better judgment. Thus the saintly came drove from before mine eyes the motes away, with the resplendence of her own, that cast their brightness downward, 1,000 miles below. Whence I my vision, clearer shall before, recovered, and, well nigh astounded, asked of a fourth light, that now with us I saw. And Beatrice, the first diving soul, that ever the first virtue framed, admires within these rays his maker. Like the leaf, that bows its lithe top till the blast is blown, by its own virtue reared then stands aloof, so I, the whilst she said, awe-stricken bowed. Then eagerness to speak emboldened me, and I began, O fruit! That wast alone mature, when first engendered. Ancient Father! That doubly sayest in every wedded bride thy daughter by affinity and blood. Devoutly as I may, I pray thee hold converse with me, my will thou sayest, and I, more speedily to hear thee, tell it not. It chanceth oft some animal bewrays, through the sleek sea overing of his furry coat. The fondness, that stirs in him and conforms his outside seeming to the cheer within, and in like guise was Adam's spirit moved to joyous mood, that through the covering shone, transparent, when to pleasure me it spake, no need thou will be told, which I untold better discern, than thou whatever thing thou holdst most certain, for that will I see in him, who is truth's mirror, and himself parhelion unto all things, and naught else to him. This wouldst thou hear, how long since God plagued me high garden, from whose hounds she led me up in this ladder, steep and long, what space endured my season of delight, whence truly sprang the wrath that banished me, and what the language, which I spake and framed not that I tasted of the tree, my son, was in itself the cause of that exile, but only my transgressing of the mark assigned me. There, whence at thy ladies hast the Montuan moved him, still was I debarred this counsel, till the sun had made complete 4,300 rounds and twice his annual journey, and, through every light in his broad pathway, saw I him return, 1,070 times, the whilst I dwelt upon the earth. The language I did use was worn away, or ever Nimrod's race their unaccomplishable work began. For naught, that man inclines to, ere was lasting, left by his reason free, and variable, as is the sky that sways him. That he speaks, is nature's prompting, whether thus or thus, she leaves to you, as ye do most affect it. Ere I descended into hell's abyss, El was the name on earth of the chief good, whose joy enfolds me, Eli then T was called and so beseemeth, for, in mortals, uses as the leaf upon the bough, that goes, and other comes instead. Upon the mount most high above the waters, all my life, both innocent and guilty, did but reach from the first hour, to that which cometh next, as the sun changes quarter, to the 6th.